Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago is having a big problem with these burglary rings that these migrants have formed. Now, this one I'm about to tell you about is 47 migrants, mainly Venezuelans, and there are also people from Ecuador that's involved in this ring. And they said they started all of these crimes the second they arrived in Chicago. So let's get into it, y'all. A string of retail thefts, burglaries by migrants plaguing Chicago suburbs. This is according to the police. They said, who's part of this ring? 47 migrants. And they were arrested in the Oak Brook area of Illinois. A Chicago suburb have been battered by a string of recent crimes committed by migrants who live in or near the Windy City. From October 23rd to January 17th, a total of 47 migrants were arrested in Oak Brook, Illinois, mostly for allegedly property crimes, according to the chief of police, Brian Strakis. And they said most of the migrants who were arrested were charged with retail theft and burglary, according to Fox News Digital. The latest incident involved an Ecuadorian who resides in Chicago and is accused of stealing more than $3,000 of merchandise from retail stores and evading immigration and customs enforcement. So ICE. So ICE is trying to catch this guy, and he's been able to evade them all this time. So the reason why he was able to evade is because he cut off his electronic monitoring device. Well, there's no telling how many of them have done that. So, ladies and gentlemen, just think about this. These governors and mayors want you to open your door and let these very same people come and stay at your house. And I believe every resident should say no. It's your politicians that created this problem, so they need to go stay with them. So on January 13th, Oak Brook officers responded to a retail theft, and this call came from Macy's. Okay, so if you look at the picture, he's the first guy in the picture. And they said he is a migrant from Ecuador, 32 years old. Now, this is the name he gave because you know many of them come with no ID because they literally can sit in your face and just make a name up. So, Jamie Ubaldo Obando Andrade. So, he entered the store and he was seen on a surveillance camera putting on a jacket that was worth $395, and then he turned around and walked out. Following a search of Obando, his vehicle, the officers were able to find $3,000 worth of stolen merchandise, as well as rolls of tin foil, according to a press release. Additionally, Berlin's office noted that officers located an ICE monitor device, which he took off. They said that he cut this monitor device off, as well as a fake Washington's driver's license. And they said the photo and driver's license had a whole different name on it. That's why I'm saying just because he gave you the name Jamie, his name might not even be Jamie. All right. So that's what they're claiming. So Obando Andrade, who first appeared in court on Sunday, has been charged with one count of burglary. a second class felony, and one count of retail theft, which is a class 3 felony. Earlier this week, it was announced that Judge Michael Burton had granted the state's motion to deny pretrial release for the defendant. So he's due back in court next month. But you know what you didn't hear, y'all? They didn't say they were going to deport him. I noticed that. Even when they get caught at doing crimes, because I did another video, but that was New York City, they still didn't deport any of these people. So this was an excellent example of solid police work and looking beyond the initial incident, Stock has said. And these retail crimes involving migrant offenders are part of a bigger criminal enterprise. And we are working closely with our federal partners to thoroughly investigate these cases. Yeah, so as soon as they land in a city, they're forming crime rings. I was like, wow. I mean, and they said these crimes start immediately when these busloads show up, the crimes begin. And, just listening to what they're doing, I would not doubt for a second they did this in their homelands too. I bet you if you really found out who they were, you would find out they were doing all this kind of robbery and everything in their homeland. All right. So last October, two Venezuelan migrants, 28 years old Luis Mendez Gomez and 23-year-old Frank Montez Davila, they were arrested after stealing $3,000 in high-end cosmetics from the Oakbrook Macy's store. After entering the store, the pair of migrants filled a bag with 16 high-end fragrances and a pair of pants totaling $2,832.50. The two men, who were said to currently live in Chicago, were observed by the Oak Brook Patrol Police and later detained during a traffic stop on October 31st. Following the arrest, the two men were charged with a burglary. So, wow. And were released on pretrial after a judge denied the state motion to hold them in jail. So the judge refused to put them in jail, which would be the case for the average American citizen that did the same thing. Unbelievable, y'all. This is the world we live in. Okay, so the two that I just spoke about, ladies and gentlemen, is this one and this one right here. Okay. Wow. So, anyway, now there was also an incident October 23rd that involved Abel Barrios Esteva and Rafael Mata Torres. And they were arrested after a foot pursuit and taken into custody by the store loss prevention officers at Oak Brook. Um, wow. The same Macy's store in Oak Brook. Both men were ordered not to enter another Macy's store, and they were later released from custody, and they were given electronic monitoring devices as a condition of their bond. They probably already took them things off by now. Despite the string of migrant arrests, the police chief told Fox News Digital that he does not believe the retailers in the area are being targeted anymore than any other location. That's what he's claiming. So I will say that we have motivated officers that are determined to keep our communities safe, and our relationships with area loss prevention agents. We have never been stronger, he said. I'm thankful for the hard work. Yeah, blah, 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 the officers. So, anyway, let me just go down. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security and ICE did not immediately respond to Fox Digital's request for comment about their efforts to protect retailers and small businesses from theft by migrants, or their accounting for migrants who currently reside in the US who chose to remove their monitor devices. So they're having a problem, y'all, with these migrants that they're giving a monitor device. They're taking them off and they're having a hard time tracking them. So several American cities have been forced to deal with the effects of the nationwide migrant crisis as thousands of migrants arrive at the southern border each day. The state of Texas began flying migrants to sanctuary cities in December, with the first arriving in Chicago. Yes, and they are coming out of Texas, a lot of them from that Eagle Pass, and they're now being flown in to Chicago's O'Hare Airport also. So Abbott, he is still sending these people out of his state. So they said there is a partial response because Chicago wants them to stop busing these people there. And the city has launched a lawsuit, and I believe it's against the bus company bringing them in. So nearly 3,400 migrants have arrived in the city of Chicago since the beginning, and over $156 million have been spent on housing and care for these migrants. That's a lot of money. But the same ones that complain about reparations stay silent about this. I'm just, we're all taking notes. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you got to tell me what you think. And if you're in a sanctuary city, did you hear about the crimes that are going on in your location? For example, if you're in Denver or the city of Philadelphia, New York, I know about New York already, I know about Chicago, but any of the other cities where you're not hearing a lot because the media is not telling you this. That's why it's always good to be on social media, because you will get the things that mainstream news will never in a million years tell you. They will keep this silent and act like these folks are coming here in peace and they're just looking for work, and that's exactly what's not happening. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.